So I got a decent seal versus a ground force now. I just gotta get up some maybe air turrets and a bunker for these marines, and I'll be in good shape. And there they go. And the next thing I gotta work on, other than getting my SCV count up, is getting my air force up. I gotta get this air superiority back. I'm down to 1 Viking at the moment. But here comes a pretty devastating drop from my opponent here. Looks like he's got only have 1 tank on my base, and he's going to kill a good number of SCVs again. Let's see the kill counts: 4, 3, 4. Given some of that was from over here, but yeah, it looks like he took out another probably 10 SCVs or so. So again, now I got air superiority, which is so big. I tried to get to that magic position where it's inside of siege range for the siege tank, but outside of his sight range. But as you can see, I just got inside of his sight range, so that didn't work out very well. I'm attacking him, and I'm worrying about repairing this tank. And all of a sudden, whoa, look at my orbital command. It got down to like, what, 60 hit points maybe? That would have been game if I lost this. So, very close to losing the game there, but luckily got everything back together. But still a pretty devastating drop. Meanwhile, he's taking his first expansion. He decided not to take his natural. I mean, yeah, you can get hit pretty hard from this high ground, so it's easy to harass. But the downside is it's going to be difficult to reinforce this. And another attack coming in from the side. This time I did spot it, and I brought my units like back here, expecting him to drop in my mineral line again. But he did decide to drop way out here, probably because his medevac was on 18 hit points. Again, he's doing some damage here. You have the air number advantage. Now I have the air number advantage. Again, it's all about air superiority. As soon as I get the advantage, I can just handle this easily. But that was probably a bunch more dead SCVs in the process. So I've really been struggling with economy this whole time. Just painful, because I really want to get this Viking count up. I did scout this expansion here, so I'm going in for the kill. Finally get to repay the debt of death that he's been paying me off the whole time. So things are finally starting to swing back my way. I got good Viking count out now. Let me look at, what's it, Army tab? Nope. Don't know the hotkey. Units. Yeah, I got 9 Vikings to his 4. And he's also switching it up to Thor's, which is probably a little late in the game for that. Thor Rush is devastating. I don't even know how to beat the Thor Rush in TvT when I do this strategy. But, yeah, this late in the game I don't find Thor's good at all, especially since he can't touch Valkyries. Kind of like me here. I took out all his air, so like, I like this idea. I took the high ground, now he can't see me. So I got some free kills. And then a bunch of Vikings versus 3. That's the end of that. Yeah, because had I dropped down here on top of him, he had definitely the numbers advantage on me. So I was quite proud of myself to come up with that right on the moment. Leaving 1 Viking here just to scout the top 5 bases. And every once in a while I'll send a Viking out here to check out this island. I think I've almost assumed that he's taken his natural. I have no idea that he doesn't have his natural right now. If you see my SCVs are on patrol, this is for 2 reasons. One is they're on a repairing patrol, so they'll repair anything that gets hurt along that line, which is nice. I can kind of use this as a repairing station. Notice my Vikings are back to full. I always send them here after a battle and repair them. And then the other nice thing about once you put them on repair, they're no longer considered idle workers. So you know when you get idle workers here sometimes, and you can do Control F1 and put them all back to work. I don't want to put these guys back to work. I want to leave them at the front line. So this is one way I can make sure they'll never be counted as idle. Second missed a battle there. So he's sending out another drop. Looks like a Thor drop. He's got 2 Thors, and then a Banshee and a Viking. I don't think I even noticed him yet. Now I notice him now with that Viking, so I start pulling my other Vikings over. This is the kind of the advantage of Vikings. They're just so mobile. It really gives you map control. And while Thors do good damage versus Vikings, Vikings do decent damage, and having them outnumbered that badly works pretty well. And now I sent my Vikings back to the repair bay. At the same time, checking out the islands and sending this guy back to scout the top bases. I've tried to put more concentration in this game on spotting the drops now, because I've died to drops, and basically you gotta get the Xel'Nagas, and then you gotta have like a patrolling Viking between where you can't see from the Xel'Nagas. Because you really want to spot the drop early. If you can spot it early enough, then your huge Viking count can like really come and devastate it before it gets to land and do the damage it's supposed to. At this point I'm feeling pretty good and getting my upgrades going. Finally. Actually, it's kind of late on my upgrades. It's only level 1 doing it now. And starting to pump out my battlecruisers. My Catane's looking pretty good, and my Viking count's looking pretty awesome, and my repair bay is doing its job. And I already got 2 battlecruisers out with 2 more coming. And I've held my opponent down to just the 2 bases. Really only 1, because this one he only built it basically after this one vanished. Once you've dried out your refineries and your minerals, remember you can always float this orbital command to become an expansion of its own. I'm leaving this Viking on patrol down here. It'll help catch drops. It'll also keep an eye on that expansion. I'm getting forced back by my contain, and the fact that I got 4 or 5 battlecruisers on the field, that was a very good time for him to quit, because he had about 1 minute left before I was about to run him over. Yeah, so that's TvT facing a lot of dropships, and dropships are pretty effective. Also, you can see how good Reaper harass is, so you gotta stay on top of that. Notice the first Reaper took out 3 SCVs, and the next 2 Reapers took out like 15. Given the next 2 were like pretty bad timing, because I was having an attack somewhere else at the same time. So I was distracted, but even still, Reapers are pretty decent versus Terran. And with that, yeah, I'm going to call an end to this replay and load up the next TvT. Thanks everyone.